Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, respected class. It's me, Dr. Ghulam Fatima, your course instructor for the subject of cardiopulmonary physical therapy. So today we are going to continue with another lecture of cardiopulmonary physical therapy, and as you all know, we were discussing the different aspects of the examination, physical examination, which are used to examine a patient clinically in cardiopulmonary physical therapy. So as a continuation of that, today we are going to discuss the surface anatomy of your heart and lungs, and along with that, we'll discuss the percussion technique that is used in examination purpose. So coming towards the topics of discussion, the main topics of discussion today will be the regarding the orientation lines, which help us to divide the different parts of the body according to that they help us to understand the surface anatomy. So we'll come to know about the different orientation lines. Then we'll discuss about the sternal angle, that is also called angle of Lewis. Then we'll discuss about the heart location, and then along with heart, we'll discuss about the apex and apex beat palpation. Then we'll discuss about the lung margins and how and where different lung kind of their lobes are located, different lung lobes are located. And next we'll discuss the percussion technique that is used in the clinical examination, and what are different percussion notes that we get as a result of percussion techniques, and what are the meaning associated with that, those percussion notes. So these are actually our topics of discussion. These are very easy but very crucial clinically and very relevant to your field, and very crucial to understand the examination of cardiopulmonary patient. So, by the end of this lecture, I hope that you people will be able to understand, first of all, regarding what are the important body landmarks, and especially the body landmarks associated with lungs and heart. So, you will be able to understand those body landmarks. Then, hopefully, you will develop an idea regarding where the different lung locations and where the different margins of the lungs are located. And obviously, the knowledge about the different lung lobes is very important, because when you have to like clear different lung lobes, and you have to treat the patient according to the lobes which are affected, then you need to perform certain techniques like percussion and vibration and shaking. Then the actual knowledge about the location of the different lung lobes is very crucial for that purpose. After that, you need to understand the basic technique of lung percussion that is used in the examination of precordium and examination of lung and examination of chest. So that is very basic techniques that is required here to understand, to perform an efficient lung and cardiopulmonary and chest examination. So after that, but by knowing about the and understanding about the basic technique of performance of lung percussion, it is equally crucial to understand about different percussion notes and the meaning associated with those percussion notes. So these are all relevant topics. These are the basic learning outcomes that will be observed for the today's lectures, and I will hope that by the end of this lecture, you will be able to understand fully about all these concepts which I have just mentioned. So first of all, we are going to discuss what are the different orientation lines. Actually, generally there are three in the front, and three in the back, and three in the sideways. So starting from this one, this the central line, the central median line, this is called the mid-sternal line. First of all, we are starting from the front view, that if you are viewing a patient from the front, where what are the orientation lines in the front view that will help to locate different anatomical landmarks. So first of all, this is a line that crosses in middle, also called middle median line, and this is called the mid-sternal line. And as you can see that it is passing through mid of the sternum. It is passing your suprasternal notch, it is passing through your sternal angle, it is passing through your Z-joint process and the sternal joint. So this is your mid-sternal line. This is your front. This is the central line, and in both sides, on both sides, then we have a line which is crossing through the mid of the clavicle, and as it is crossing through the mid of the clavicle, we call it as a mid clavicular line. So in front view, these are the two, and the mid clavicular line is right and left. So these are the three main orientation line in front view. One is your mid sternal line, and one is your right mid clavicular line, and one is your left mid clavicular line. So these are the three lines of orientation that will be observed in the front view. Then coming towards the back view. In back view, we also again have three lines of orientation, and one is that passes through the mid of the your spine, that is your central line, and the other lines of the lies on the both sides, right and left. This is very important. These are the lines which are called your mid scapular line. And the point to remember is that it passes through the inferior angle of the scapula. Condition applied that the arms are by the side of the patient, because if the arms are away from the body, then the position of the inferior angle of the scapula is also changed. So when the arms are by the side of your body, at that point the line crossing through the inferior angle of the scapula is called the mid scapular line. And when we are observing the body from back side, then we will have two mid scapular lines, one for the right side and one for the left side. So these are the lines of orientation when we are observing a patient or a person from the behind. One is your mid scapular line, and the other line is your posterior median or mid vertebral line. So revising again, in anterior view you will find three lines. One is your anterior median line, or you can call it as a mid sternal line, and the other two are your mid clavicular lines, which are right and left mid clavicular lines. So we have three lines of orientation in our anterior view. And in posterior view, again we have three lines of orientation. What is posterior median, which passes through the mid vertebral, like ये जो है कि थोड़ा पूरी spine के mid से गुजर रही है, so it is mid vertebral line. So this is one line, and the other two lines are your scapular lines or mid scapular lines that essentially cross through the inferior angle of the scapula. Condition applied that the arms are aligned by the side of the body. So these are your scapular line. Now coming towards the side view, or that can also be called as the anterolateral view, when you are observing a patient from the lateral side, then the lines of orientation are actually named according to the axillary folds. So a line which lies in line with the interior axillary fold, that is named as interior axillary line. The line that is in line with your posterior axillary fold, that is called posterior axillary line, and the line which passes between these two lines, that is called as a mid axillary line, and that is essentially passing through the middle of the your axillary fossa. So hence there are, we can say, 9 orientation lines, 3 in the anterior view, 3 in the posterior view, and 3 in the lateral view. But if we'll see the lateral view in right and left, then it will become 12 lines. So once again, in revising the lateral view, we have a mid axillary line that passes through the mid of the axillary fossa. We have an interior axillary line that is in line with the interior axillary fold, and we have a posterior axillary line that is in line with the posterior axillary fold. So it is very crucial to remember all these lines, because again and again I am going to discuss all the next body landmarks will be discussed in reference to these lines. So it is very essential for you people to be very clear by this point. So you should be very clear about these orientation lines to develop a better understanding of the concept. Now next, coming towards the next anatomical landmarks which help us to understand the anatomy, the surface anatomy. So the next come your sternal angles, the angle of the nose. Simply, if you move your finger downward from this suprasternal notch, you just slide your finger downward, and after a bit you find a bump there. and that bump is actually, if you slide to lateral side, it will be like continuous with the second costal cartilage and then with the second rib. Again, I am telling you the sternal angle, which is also called the angle of Lewis. This is very important to locate your ribs, and again, it is very important as we'll discuss the auscultation. That auscultation area as discussed with reference to this sternal angle and angle of Lewis. Simply, it is when you move your finger downward from the sternal, from the suprasternal notch. Then, after a bit, you will find a bump, and as you move your finger laterally from the that bump is actually your sternal angle or angle of Lewis. And if you move lateral from that side, you will find your second costal cartilage, and again there's the second rib is there. So this is the point where you find your second rib, and from this is the point you can easily count your ribs. First rib is not like accessible from front. First rib, as I होप दैट आपने फर्स्ट रिब की कैलकुलेशन जो है वो मैनुअल में पढ़ ली होगी, तो वो आपका डिफरेंट तरीका वो यहाँ से कैलकुलेट है। तो यहाँ पे जो पहली रिब कैलकुलेट होगी वो सेकंड रिब होगी। सो एज यू like slide your finger laterally, you will find your second rib. So and this is the point from where you can calculate your ribs easily. So and again, this point lies opposite to your if you see that we like draw a line from front to back, so this point lies opposite to interval predis T4 and 5. As you can see in this picture, you can see here is your sternal angle, and the sternal angle coincides posteriorly with your T4 and T5, lies between T4 and T5. Actually, this is the point where the disc is lying, and for T4, T5 rib, so it is in line with the disc lying between T4, T5. And suprasternal notch is at the level of T2 and T3, and Z4 sternal joint is in line with or in between the bodies of T8 and T9. These are the simple landmarks, and most important out of this is your sternal angle. You need to remember that it is in line with T4, T5. Now, looking at this here, you can also see that this is your suprasternal notch, this is your manubrium sterni, and this is your sternal angle of Lewis. You can go vice versa. If you find the second rib and you will palpate back to the sternum, then you will be on the angle of the Lewis. And if you first you are able to palpate angle of Lewis, and then you like slide your finger laterally, you will be at the second rib. So both of these vice versa, whatever is more feasible for you, you can use that. Okay, why we are discussing this sternal angle again and again, and what is the importance of this? Actually, this is the point where your costal cartilage or second rib articulates with the sternum, and as we have already discussed, that this is the point where second rib is attached to the sternum, in simple words. Moreover, this is the point where your ascending aorta ends and the arch of aorta begins. And same at the same point, the arch of aorta ends, and your after ending the arch of aorta, along with that, your descending aorta or the thoracic aorta begins. So I would like to make you understand through a picture that how will it look like, and where is this line located. Simply say this is just like that, that this is the line or point. I'm sorry, I'm unable to draw a straight line, but this is the line and point. So this is the point where your ascending aorta ends and say arch of aorta begins, and at the same point your arch of aorta ends and your thoracic aorta begins. So this is the point in line with this line. So and again, this is the line which is found at the point where your trachea is bifurcated, and that point is called carina. So this is the point which is in line with the. So this is a very important anatomical landmark, because carina is located at this angle of Lewis, and again you are ascending aorta ends, your arch of aorta begins, and your arch of aorta ends, and your thoracic aorta begins at this point. So this is to make you understand better understand this point. Okay, next coming towards the heart location. Simply heart, as you all know, you can place your fist. It is a size of a human fist. The person's fist who's the mere dil ka size जो है वो मेरी fist के जितना होगा. So heart location, when coming towards the heart location, one third of this lies on the right side. Although we simply say that it lies on the left side, but mediastinum coming towards the location with respect to mediastinum, one third of it also lies towards the left side, and the more major part, two-thirds of it lies on the left side. So coming towards the from side to side and from up to down, what are the locations from up to down? Your heart ranges from second rib to fifth rib. From second rib, we were able to calculate your ribs from the angle of Lewis. So the angle of Lewis, if you like calculate parallel from angle of the Lewis, the second rib, the heart starts from the second rib and its margin downs up to the fifth rib. And from side to side, your heart starts from the right sternal border, like the sternum. Here is the sternum, and this here, this on this side is you are having right sternum bottom. So from the right sternum bottom to the left mid clavicular line, you are having your heart. So this is a complete location of it, your heart. And one third is on the right side, two third on the left side, second to fifth rib, and right sternal bottom to the mid clavicular line. So again, you can also see from this line that from the right sternal border, your heart is lying from the this left side, the mid-clavicular line, which is lying on the left side. Now, next concept is about the apex. What is apex? Apex is your lowest and your what you can the point of maximum impulse, where you can feel the maximal heartbeat. Actually, your apex is made up of left ventricle. As you all know that ventricles have a very thick muscular walls, and especially your left ventricle, it has to pump body the whole blood towards the body. That why it has a very thick muscular walls. So these very thick muscular walls, along with the thrill associated with the blood ejecting, so it gives you a very palpable beat, and that point is called the point of maximum pulse or the apex beat. So the apex is actually your point of apex beat, and it is obviously, as we just have discussed, that heart has margin from second to fifth rib. So the apex is the lowest point, so it can be found in the fifth rib, and the fifth rib or the fifth intercostal space. From there, you have to slightly just half an inch medial to that this point of maximum impulse is found. And if you are like trying to go towards that from the left border of sternum, then it is almost 3 to 4 inches or roughly 5 inches uh, lateral to your sternal border, or it is simply half inch medial to your mid-clavicular line on the left side. So this is the point of the maximum pulse. Now at this point, I would like to show that how you can palpate apex beat, and it is usually a part of examination where apex base is palpated. So simply I will take you to the process. First, you have to warm your hands before trying to palpate the patient chest, and because you will be exposing the chest, and you will place a flat hand on that point, on that part of the chest, and you will able to feel beneath your hand, you will feel the beat. And then you will palpate by using only the ulnar side of your hand, and after that you will be able to locate that speed. I would like you people to look again, warm your hands, place a full palm on that part of the body, on your chest, especially at the fifth intercostal space, and then place your ulnar border, and you will feel beat beneath your ulnar border and your palm, and that is the point where the apex of the heart is located. So this is a very important point that you must be able to locate, and part of examination. In very severe cases where there is extreme murmurs and regurgitation, even this apex beat, in case of hypertrophy of the left ventricle, even this apex beat become visible in the fifth intercostal space. You can even like look at and feel a pulsation of the apex beat in the fifth intercostal space. So this is the methods how can you can palpate apex. Next, coming towards the lungs. As you are very well aware that on the right side we have three lobes which are divided by the oblique fissure and the horizontal fissure, and sorry, on the right side we have three lobes which are divided by the oblique fissure and the horizontal fissure, and on the left side we have two lobes. Because of your cardiac notch we have only two lobes which are divided by the oblique fissure. So oblique fissure is a common feature in both of these, which is dividing your upper lobe and your lower lobe. So first we'll discuss the margins of your oblique fissure, because in both the lungs it divides the lung into upper lobe and lower lobe. So here you can see the margins of the lung. Simply we can take this picture to understand the margins of your oblique fissure. From posterior side, if you see from the posterior side, it starts from the T2, T2 vertebral body or spinous process of the T2. That will be the point you will be marking. You can practice this by using you can make a model. You can request children या घर में से कोई बच्चा आप ले लीजिए, उसके ऊपर मार्कर से ड्रॉ करें, तो ये बड़े इजी और बड़े आपको मजे के लगेंगे जब आप इसको ड्रॉ करेंगे. So T2 is the point from where this oblique fissure starts, and after that it runs downwards and laterally till the time that in the mid-axillary line, it is in line with the fifth rib. In the mid-axillary line, it is in line with the fifth rib, and again it will move forward. It will move forward towards the anterior chest, and it will end at the point of the sixth costochondral junction. So again, I am telling you that oblique fissure is your fissure that is going to divide your upper lobe and middle lobe. You are exactly on the left side and exactly on the right side, and right side will have an additional middle lobe, but on left side we have only oblique fissure. So the oblique fissure starts from the T2, vertebral body of T2, then it moves, you move the line laterally and downward till the point that in the mid-axillary line it crosses your fifth rib, and then again it moves forward and downward till the time that it coincides with the sixth costal cartilage, your costocostal junction. So this is your oblique fissure orientation, and this the main function of it is to divide your upper and middle lobes from the lower lobes. So this is your oblique fissure. Coming towards the horizontal fissure. Horizontal fissure, simply this is very simple to understand, and it is only lying on your right side, and it's only for your middle lobe that only lies on your right side. So here again taking the same picture, we'll take this same picture, and here you can see that this right side of the lung has this additional fissure that is called your horizontal fissure. Simply, horizontal fissure starts from the fourth intercostal space and it runs downward and backward till the time that it coincides with the oblique fissure. So this is the point, and this is your middle lobe. It's very easy to understand. Starting from the fourth intercostal space, it will move downward and backwards till the time that in the mid-axillary line it coincides with the oblique fissure. So this is the location of your middle lobe, and that is only required in the right side of the lung. The left side of the lung we do not have any middle lobe. So we do have linguilla, but there is no middle lobe. So so these are the boundaries of the oblique fissures and the horizontal fissure. So the horizontal fissure, as we have discussed, that on the right side it divides upper lobe from the your upper lobe and middle lobe. Actually, this makes the boundaries of your upper lobe and middle lobe and runs for the fourth intercostal space, and at the mid-axillary will join your oblique fissure. Now coming towards the overall margins of your lungs. Coming towards the upper margin of your lung. Upper margin of your lung, it simply lies 2 to 3 centimeter above the clavicle. Please remember that your upper margin of lung lies 2 to 3 centimeter above the clavicle, and the your lower margin, these are variable. In the mid-axillary line, midclavicular line on the front side. Midclavicular line on the front side, your lower margin of the lung coincides with the sixth rib. In the midclavicular line, lower margin of lung coincides with the sixth rib. Now this blue covering in this picture, actually this blue covering is showing the pleura. These are the margins of the lungs. So in the midclavicular line, it coincides with the sixth rib. In the mid-axillary line, it combines with the or coincides with the eighth rib, and posteriorly with the scapular line, it coincides with the tenth rib. Once again, mid-clavicular line, sixth rib, mid-axillary line, eighth rib, two down. Remember, two down. Mid-clavicular line, sixth rib, two down. Mid-axillary line, eighth rib, two down. Mid-scapular line, tenth rib. These are the margins, lower margins of your lungs. Coming to the margins of pleura. On upper margins, these are same like the margins of the lungs, means 2 to 3 centimeter above the clavicle. For on the lower side, pleura has once again two down rule. In the mid-clavicular line, where lung margin was coincide with the sixth rib, the pleural margin is coincide with the eighth rib. Two down in the mid-axillary line, tenth rib. Two down in the mid-scapular line, it will be 12th rib. So these how you can understand about the upper margins and lower margins of the lungs, as well as margins of your pleura. Now, after that, this is the point where we need to discuss about the percussion. Actually, percussion is the technique which tells you about any change, specifically when we are discussing about the cardiopulmonary system and chest examination. It tells you about any change in the lung density. Otherwise, percussion is also performed for the abdominal viscera, but our main concern here is about the lung viscera and about the lung and lung density and the changes in percussion note, which result as a result of your percussion of the lungs. So, what is the basic technique? Simply, let's see, this is the basic technique. The middle finger. This is you will put your flat hand, and the middle finger actually will be put in the intercostal space between two ribs. Middle finger is placed in the mid-costal space between two ribs, intercostal space between two ribs, and you with your other hand only using your wrist, you will move your wrist. You will not move your finger, you will not move your arm, you will only perform this action by moving your wrist. All of the other joints will be stationary, only the movement is produced on your wrist, and you will perform this percussion like this. You will perform the percussion on the distal finger, like here. Now for the demonstration purposes, like I am approaching from the opposite side. Otherwise, like my hand will be approaching from this side, and I can percuss, and a sound is heard. This can be done on the distal phalanx, but practically when we were in the like practicing in the medicine world, our teachers used to tell us, and we used to perform on the middle phalanx too. So I guess that it is a point whichever is more comfortable with you. If you are in your books and your more reference books, they recommend performing the technique on the distal phalanx, but we practically we used to perform even it on the middle phalanx, and the results are the same. You will find a percussion note, and the sound is, and in case of lung, the sound is very heavy and loud. So this is actually resonant sound, that is whenever you are percussing over the lungs, you will find this kind of sound which is loud and which is heavy. So this is the sound which can be heard on the percussion. So once again, I am telling you that this is a percussion which and this technique, specifically this kind of percussion, is performed for the examination purpose. There is another percussion which is performed for the treatment purpose. मैं बार बार ये बात बच्चों को बताती हूँ, वो बार बार इस बात को मिक्स कर जाते हैं कि जो परकशन जिसमें परकशन नोट्स आएंगे वो आपकी ये एग्जामिनेशन वाली परकशन है, जिसमें आप फ्लैट हैंड रख के मिडिल फिंगर जो है उसकी डिस्टल फेलिंग्स जो है उसको दूसरे हैंड की फिंगर्स के साथ जो है परकस करते हैं और आपको एक साउंड आती है. दिस इज एग्जामिनेशन प्रोसेस. एंड देयर इज अनदर टेक्निक, एक और टेक्निक होती है जो परकशन वाइब्रेशन एंड शेकिंग है, जो कि लंग्स ब्रीथ क्लियर करने के लिए फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट यूज करते हैं. वो भी उसका नाम भी परकशन है, लेकिन वो आपका रिहेबिलिटेशन प्रोसेस है, वो आपका टेक्निक है, ट्रीटमेंट टेक्निक है, वो आपकी एग्जामिनेशन टेक्निक नहीं है. ठीक है, तो इस बात का आपने ख्याल रखना है. अगर एग्जाम्स में पूछा जाए, परकशन नोट का पूछा जाए या एग्जामिनेशन की बात हो रही हो, तो हमेशा आपसे इस परकशन के बारे में पूछा जाएगा जिसको हम आज डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. So next, what are the sides of percussion? Interiorly, you will first of all percuss your supraclavicular fossa, then your clavicles will be percussed, and then from second to the sixth intercostal spaces you will percuss, because these are the lung margins. We are basically discussing the lung percussion. So these are the lung margins. The second to the sixth intercostal spaces will be percussed for the purpose of percussion of the lungs. On the posterior side, again you will percuss your apices of the lungs, and then above the spine of the scapula you can percuss, and then below the spine of scapula down to the 11th rib. Now, if you are percussing the full chest, then this is the like sequence, that once you percuss and compare both sides, percuss left side, then right side, then like left side and right side, and then you will percuss like this is above the supraclavicular fossa, then second intercostal space, third, fourth, and hence you will go to fifth, sixth intercostal space in this manner. As you know, this is the shape of the ribs, and so this is the shape of percussion too. On the back side, again supraclavicular fossa, then you will as there is scapula line there, you will be performing here towards the midline. So one, then move to two, then two, right, left, like this. Why between right and left? This is necessary to compare both sides of the lungs and same fields of the lungs on both sides. 3, 3, 4, 4, and then 5 and 6 and 7. These are the areas to percuss. Shortly I will be showing you a video from where you will be able to listen to the different percussion notes, and you will be able to understand how you will move from one area to the next area. And actually the technique is best performed when the patient is in spine line. So the video will demonstrate the basic technique when the patient is in the spine line, and you will be properly able to understand how the patient the technique is performed when the patient is in sideline. So would you have before going to the video, I would like to discuss the percussion notes which are audible as a result of performing these techniques. So first of all, as I already have discussed, that lungs, their sound is very loud. So loud sound is called high amplitude. And the other quality we need to guess is the pitch of the sound. The sound, how dull the sound is. जैसे आप उर्दू में कहते हैं, जितनी भारी आवाज होती है उसकी पिच उतनी कम होती है, और जितनी बारीक आवाज होती है उसकी पिच उतनी हाई होती है. जैसे मेल्स की आवाज होती है उसकी पिच जो है वो हाई होती है, लो होती है, सॉरी, और जो फीमेल्स की आवाज है उसकी पिच जो है वो हाई होती है. तो जो रेजोनेंट है, आप अपने लंग को जो है परकस करें और आपको जो साउंड आएगी वो दैट इज एक्चुअली लाउड, दैट इज हाई एम्पलीट्यूड, but on the same time that has a low pitch. It means that the sound is bahari, heavy, and it will be this kind of sound will be heard over air-filled organs such as the lungs. Then with resonant there comes a term which is called hyper-resonant. So hyper-resonant is very low pitch, very heavy kind of a sound, and it is again heard over areas where is say there is lung but it has increased amount of air. Then the sound heard is called hyper-resonant, and it is heard in cases of emphysema and asthma, where there is air trapping within your lungs. Then you will the percussion note will be hyper-resonant. Simply, resonant sound have a low pitch and a high amplitude. It means it is loud to listen, but it is heavy. So this is called resonant percussion node, and normal lung have resonant percussion node. But if there is underlying pathology, there is increased air in the lung in case of emphysema, in case of asthma, then the sound will become even more of high amplitude and even more heavy. So that will be called hyper resonant. Then the next is dull. Dull sound is, it is low amplitude. It means it is comparatively less loud, and it has medium to high pitch. Medium like pitch is somewhat more than your lungs pitch. So it is usually heard over the solid organs like your liver. If you keep percussing downward, 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 so the next thing that will come after your lungs, the very next thing will be liver. So you can percuss over that, and you will be able to like note that the sound in that case is dull. So if on the opposite hand, if your lung is consolidated, there is some kind of fibrosis, there is some kind of tumor, and your lung is consolidated, and in that case, even your normal lungs, you will hear a dull sound even over your normal lung fields. So that can give you a clue that the lung underlying is actually consolidated due to some reason. Then there is a term which is called stony dull. Stony dull is means very dull. It means extremely low amplitude and high pitch, and medium to high pitch both can be there. And this kind of sound is stony dull sound is heard over pleural effusion. So if the patient is having pleural effusion, then you will sound like a stony dull. On the other hand, consolidated lungs simply sound dull. Normal liver has a normal percussion node that is dull. Then is another percussion node that is called flat. This is very high pitch and short. It is heard over muscle mass such as thigh. If you like percuss your thigh, I don't know if you are able to see my thigh. So it doesn't have any depth in that. It's a high pitch, but it is very short. So this is called flat because it is truly flat. Then there is a term which is called tympanic. Tympanic is a high pitch, long and hollow. It is heard over the hollow organs and hollow structures such as the stomach. They're like if you percuss abdominal organs, there over the stomach you can heard a percussion node that is called tympanic, and actually this is high pitch, like it is not that much heavy, it is shriek a bit, and it is long, but still you feel a hollowness in the sound, and this is over hollow organs just like the stomach. So these are the basic notes, and the normal lung will always sound resonant to you. If there is increased air in the lungs like emphysema, you will the sound will be hyper resonant. If there is the liver is normally dull, and if there is consolidated lung, it will also sound dull. And again, pleural effusion is stony dull. Muscle mass, either your bicep or any muscle mass, if you try to percuss over that, you will feel a sound which is flat, which is high pitch but very short, that is flat. And tympanic, if you like percuss the hollow organ, then the sound that you will be able to hear, that is called tympanic. So at this point I will like to show you people the video that is showing the percussion and basic method of percussion, and along with that the percussion notes. So the ultimate optimal position for this is the patient is in supine line, and the patient is exposed. So this is how you will place your finger, and then you will be percussing with the middle finger of the other hand in a very rhythmic manner, and using just your wrist, one side and moving towards the other side. Then second intercostal space is being percussed, and this is simply the method was explained. Now the person is going to demonstrate the full percussion of interior side, and it is moving from side to side. percussing the intercostal spaces, starting from the second intercostal space, and trying to listen to the sound that is with that is felt under your hands, and even that is heard along with this percussion. So this is the interior chest percussion, and you will be percussing the both sides and your intercostal spaces from side to side. And then coming towards the posterior examination. During posterior examination, once again, you can see due to scapula, you will be percussing close to the midline, and the pattern is same, that you will be moving from side to side, comparing the both lung fields and pondering upon either it is a normal percussion note or some abnormality is observed in this percussion note. So this is the method which is used to percuss the lungs. So in the last part, there are sounds. At this point, I will request you people to kindly use some kind of hands free and listen it very carefully, that how the resonant sound, how the dull sound, how the tympanic sound feels like. So here I would like you people to kindly use hands free and listen to it very carefully.
This is a normal resonant sound. This is a dull sound. This is a tympanic sound. This is a flat sound.
Because this is main thing, that you have to differentiate between different kind of notes. So after this, I hope that you people will have developed a very good idea about what kind of sounds can be heard on percussion. So what are the points to remember? The points to remember in today's session are, what are the orientation lines? There are three orientation lines in the interior. There is mid-sternal line, mid-clavicular line, left and right. There is your mid-vertebral line and scapular line, right and left scapular line, mid-axial line, interior axial line, posterior axial line. So these are the main orientation lines. Your lungs margin 2 to 3 centimeter above the clavicle. There is apex and lower margin is at mid-clavicular line. It is at 6th rib, and mid-axial line it is at 8th rib, coincides with that, and mid-scapular line it is with the 10th rib. Apex bit, it is the fifth intercostal space. You will use your flat hand first in the fifth intercostal place, and then your ulnar side, and then you will feel the beat underneath your hand. And finally, the percussion technique, where you use a flat hand and use the middle finger of the other hand to percuss over that part, and you will have some sounds in response, and you have to judge according to that sound, and what are the underlying, what kind of sound is this, and what is it depicting in that case. So thank you so much. That was all for the today's lecture. And in the next lecture, we'll continuing this examination. We will be discussing the auscultation technique. Hopefully you people will understand these techniques. And if you will not understand these, and you will not be understanding, especially the margin, surface anatomy, then the next examination will be more and more difficult for people. So kindly listen this and watch this lecture. Practice this with your जो भी घर अवेलेबल है, छोटे बहन भाई हैं जो भी हैं, kindly practice this. Try to practice this with them, and I will see you in the next lecture, inshallah. Take care.